The former attorney for Camden County is now suing the county commission over how he was fired in January. Thanks for tuning in to our Ozarks First Digital Desk. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Lauren Inman. Jeffrey Green filed the lawsuit today accusing the Camden County Commission of breach of contract. If you're having deja vu here, that's because it's the second case Ozarks First Investigates is looking into, filed against a local government agency alleging wrongful termination just within the last few weeks. Remember, last week I brought you the story of the former police chief in Humansville who's now suing the city. So today we're focusing on Camden County, and I have obtained a copy of the lawsuit, and so I thought we could go through some of those documents together today. So this is what we know based on the lawsuit that was filed today. Let me pull up an excerpt from, this is a very small portion of the lawsuit, but this will become key, I think, here in a moment as we're going through this. So Jeffrey Green is an attorney in the Lake area, right? He worked for a different law firm before being hired by the Camden County Commission, and that was in September of 2022. He made $135,000 according to his contract the year that he was hired. Because he had to leave his job at the law firm at Lake of the Ozarks before taking a job with the county, there was a provision, a specific clause in his contract built into his employment contract that said the county would need to give him a full year's notice if they were going to terminate him. So 365 days notice. And this is the part of that contract that you'll see here. So it reads, if the county commission wishes to replace you as county counselor, it will give you at least 365 days advance written notice unless shorter notice is mutually agreed upon. Now, there is a caveat in here, and this is, I guess, the part that will play out in the court system, because there's no indication if the next part of his employment contract could come into play. So this caveat reads, it is understood that you will have no right of continued employment in the event your employment is terminated for cause due to you engaging in conduct that would justify forfeiture or removal from office under standards that are applicable to you being elected as a county official, essentially. So that's what the lawsuit alleges, is that he was wrongfully terminated. It was a breach of contract because he has that clause in his contract. So, okay, we're going to fast forward to January 21st of 2025. This is the day that Green was fired. More than 2 years later, the county commission is having a closed session, and let me pull up some of the minutes, which are included in the lawsuit. So Exhibit 2 in the lawsuit provides a brief summary of the minutes from this closed session. So this is Tuesday, January 21st. The closed session is intended to discuss an issue with the county's health fund, which was in the red according to the meeting minutes. Apparently, for the second year in a row, the county had to move over funding to account for this negative balance. Minutes show that commissioners discussed this, but there's no motion made, they don't vote on it, there's no meaningful action taken regarding the health fund issue, which is the whole reason the meeting was called to begin with, at least not that we can see reflected in the meeting minutes. So there is a motion, however, to terminate Camden County Councilor Jeff Green, who is not in attendance at that meeting because, as he says in the lawsuit, he thought it was regarding the city's health fund. So why would he show up? There are 3 commissioners for Camden County. They are all 3 in attendance at this meeting. One of them motions to terminate Green in his position as attorney for Camden County. Another one motions to retain him. So it's split right off the bat. There's one commissioner who wants to get rid of him, one who wants to keep him. Well, the other ends up siding with his termination. So Green is ultimately terminated in a 2-to-1 vote. And there is some indication here that was relayed to Jeff pretty quickly after that. So this is another one of the exhibits filed with the lawsuit. And you can see it reads, it's from Ike, I believe is his name, who is Ike Skelton, who is he's the presiding commissioner for the county. And it says, Jeff Green, by majority of the commission, your services are no longer needed as of January 21st, 2025, which was the date of that meeting that he was not in attendance for. So the other thing that is somewhat interesting that's mentioned in the meeting minutes is that when the commissioners make a motion to talk about this in the meeting, they say, let's bring up something that's a continuation of an issue that we had discussed on Friday. So it shows that his employment status was brought up the previous Friday on January 17th, but it doesn't give any other context about what that discussion was or why they felt it needed to be continued in a closed session. So the lawsuit shows that Jeff Green is suing for $194,000 in damages. And there is some information, it's like, how do you get to that number from his salary, which was $135,000, we said initially. So I also obtained this document, which shows this is a letter to HR, to Pamela Dunham with Camden County. And it breaks down exactly what the $194,000 in damages comes out to. So this shows that his salary here is listed as a little bit more than $143,000. So we would probably assume that that's his salary for 2025, that it has gone up a little bit since he was hired in 2022. It also has about $11,000, another line for $20,000 for retirement funds. Health insurance is itemized here at $7,300, life insurance, and then there's another expense on here for $1,900 for the Missouri bar. So it appears as though those are the line items that he's suing for that he has calculated to be about $194,000. And it does show in the court documents filed today that his attorney has asked for and demanded that the county pay him this money at least twice previously and has gotten no response from the commission. So I am working to get in touch with the parties involved here. The lawsuit does not provide a ton of details about what happened the day prior to this closed session meeting. So I reached out to the commission today. I did get an answer, but I was sent to voicemail. And the voicemail that I was sent to was for someone whose recording claimed that they are the Camden County counselor. So it would appear, at least based on that, they didn't call me back, but it would appear based on that as though the county has hired someone in Green's place within the last month and a half, 2 months or so. So I will let you know if I hear back from the current counselor for Camden County, and otherwise we're going to expect this case to make its way through the court system. It is so new, it was just filed today, that there are no court dates set at this time. So that's what we know so far. As always, if you have a tip you'd like us to look into, send us an email to investigates@ozarksfirst.com. You can also call our tip line, which is 417-295-TIPS.